But just to have an idea of what is the precious metals production and demand in silver, so how much silver is produced or from the mine production, how much silver come from the recycling, because we know that in precious metal, the recycling is quite a large percentage of the supply, and how is the demand structured?
So if you look at last year, for example, and we just recently put out last week our World Silver Survey 2021 that you can download at no cost from our website. Last year was the fourth consecutive year of a decline in mine supply. We expect that's going to turn around this year. And last year was really due to the fact that most of these, or many of these mines, and in very important silver mining countries like Peru and Mexico and others, were on COVID restrictions and could not operate. So we saw the fourth year of mine supply. We saw a slight increase in recycling of silver as the price got higher. People were turning some of their silver products for a price. And then you got a very small amount of net hedging supply. And then on the other supply side issue, it used to be a more important issue back in early 2000, 2003. Government sales of silver were almost minimal last year at that. And on the demand sector, we saw.
But just to have an idea on in terms of amount in million of ounces of or in
so
tons, what it looks like the supply of silver.
Total supply last year was a little over 1 billion ounces, so 1.056 ounces of silver was the total supply dynamic that came to the market.
So it is more or less 30,000 tons of silver, if I'm not wrong, more or less. I did the calculations. I'll be more or less right. Okay, so 30,000 tons, so more or less 1 million of ounces of silver, and then the demand. How is structured demand?
That was a billion, 1.033 ounces. Okay, so 1.033 billion ounces. So just shy of the total supply.
Okay. And the demand, as you said before, so we have industrial demand, we have the jewelry, we have the physical investment. So I think this is the three main points someone has to know when you are seeing the supply and demand in precious metals. So what is the percentage of the demand that go in the industrial demand?
It's over 50%. Last year, I believe it was 55%. This year, we're calling for an even higher number.
We think that is a huge amount that is going to the industrial
side. And then when you add the investment side into the equation as well, we believe jewelry and silverware are also going to pick up this year, but that's coming off of a very low 2020.
Yeah, because I did some research, so we know that we have more than 50% that goes in the industrial demand. Then we have 25% in the jewelry and silverware, and then we have more or less 25% on the physical investment. And now I know also that Indian demand is huge compared to the worldwide demand. And now we are seeing, sadly, that COVID is a all-time high in India. So I think even the demand is not at its maximum grade in India regarding all the jewelry and silverware, right?
That's correct. And when it comes to jewelry and silverware, India is such an important country to the global demand sector for those two demand areas, jewelry and silverware. And if you took India out of the equation last year, silver would have had a fairly good year with respect to jewelry. We're hopeful that those markets and that country itself will get back on track and that they can slowly start putting, like some of the world has, this pandemic a little bit at ease. It's important to note on silver that only about 27% comes from a primary silver mine each year. So newly mined silver activity is coming from a very small output, less than 30% of a primary silver mine. And it really does rely on lead, copper, gold, and zinc mining activities to make up the difference. And that's a point I forgot to put in.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. I was not aware that silver is coming from other mines, so not silver primary from silver mine, but other mines that is a second material that they are mining. So there is a okay, very interesting.